This is our macro task going for our platoon. 1st Platoon, Charlie Co. 1-5 Infantry, whose task is to disrupt enemy forces in AO Ronin to deny enemy influence on Battalion DO. Here is our micro task going for our squad, 1st Platoon, Charlie Co. 1-5 Infantry. Our task is to attack and destroy Objective Phantom where the enemy has suspected mortar team. Alpha Team, they will be the assault element to deny enemy influence on the Battalion DO. Their key weapon systems are the M249 and M320. Bravo Team is supporting element 1. The task is to be security for our Alpha Team. They will be denying enemy influence on the Battalion DO, and they have the exact same weapon systems as Alpha Team. We have an attached gun team from Weapons Squad. They are support by fire for our assault element. Their key weapon systems are the 240 Bravo and Javelin, which are crucial to mission success. Alright. This is our AO with 36 Northing and 16 Easting, and then contained by the 08 Easting and 32 Northing. In our AO is Objective Phantom, which is where we will be attacking and destroy. 2nd Squad and 1st Squad will attack on Objective Reaper and Ghost, respectively. And Objective Ghost, they were going to try to pull enemy away from Objective Phantom so our mission goes successfully. And then we're trying to deny enemy freedom of maneuver along Route Camaro. Alright, so in this AO, the enemy has attack helicopters, the Z-10 attack helicopters, which is comparable to the R Apaches. They're at Tai Tung Air Base, UF 127212, and they have a 30-minute reaction time. And they are triggered by U.S. Forces Battalion or higher enablers like moving in this AO. So we don't really have to worry about that. And then for indirect fires, there's a battery of PL-66 152mm howitzers. And they're triggered by infantry squad elements, which are like greater than squad size, which for us we have an attached gun team, so they will be triggered if they see us moving in the AO. And the reaction time is 10 minutes. And then there's one PP-87 detected by Battalion counterfire radar at Objective Phantom, so we're not 100% certain of the mortar team being there, but that is what we are attacking to destroy. They fire daily to defend North Torbian defenders on Objective BOBCAT from 0300 to 0800 and then 1500 to 1900 with a reaction time of 5 minutes. There is a reserve platoon. They're a motorized platoon, CSK 141s, and they are triggered by U.S. force advancing, so they will be triggered by our movements. They have a 40-minute reaction time to anywhere in AO Ronin, specifically Objective Phantom, and then there's ADA. There's a platoon of PGZs, 04 Alphas, and a suspected platoon of HQ-16s in the vicinity of Luye, UF 091342, and this stops us from having air assets, so we will have no close air support. And this is all of that written. Alright, this is our GTAO. So our terrain, we have extremely high elevation in this mountain range, canalizing our movement along our avenues of approach. The river to the west also canalizes our approach and the enemy's approach. However, it is likely that the enemy will use Route Camaro to get to Objective Phantom with their control of Key Terrain 1. They also have reserve units that are able to reach Objective Phantom and anywhere in AO Ronin. And then they used wire obstacles along Route Camaro to disrupt our movements. So it's unlikely that we'll be able to use Route Camaro. It's more likely that we have to use unimproved trails for our dismounted movements. However, natural obstacles also are going to canalize enemy movement, so both of us will have difficulty moving, especially with mounted elements. So the mountain range with steep elevation is going to limit our fields of fire and also enemy fields of fire. But the enemy has the advantage in the AO, so we have to use extreme caution when we move. And then mark the advantage, Key Terrain 1, the bridge, as I said before, the enemy is able to reach anywhere in AO Ronin on their mounted elements. And then Key Terrain 2 and Objective Phantom with the mortar team, they're able to fire anywhere in AO Ronin to defend their elements. It is unlikely that we'll have indirect fire support and unlikely that we'll have air support due to enemy air defense artillery. And then the enemy with their mortar will most likely be in an open field to be able to fire, which helps us because they won't have cover. So if we're able to flank them from the woods, they won't see us coming and we'll be able to surprise them a little bit. Furthermore, with weather, there's going to be moderate visibility to low visibility. During the day, it's not affecting us. However, it's going to be difficult to see at night without the use of NVGs. However, due to the humidity, NVGs will have lower effectiveness. Humidity also causes risk for heat casualties on both sides. The cloud cover, which is extreme, 98 to 99% every single day. We'll be able to move with concealment. From detection, it's going to be harder to see at night with a dismounted movement. We're going to be moving on foot. The enemy has their CSK 141s. It'll be harder for them to see as well. The weather is favorable to our forces because it's supposed to rain. Nobody wants to be attacked in the rain. All these guys are going to be focused on the suck. We're going to be focused on attacking them. The enemy will be able to detect movement easier because there's low wind. However, with the rain, it's negligible. So with civil considerations in the AO, there's a lot of urban areas and scattered civilian buildings along our routes. So we would like to minimize civilian contact because it's likely that they will notify the enemy that we're there. As we move through suburban terrain, we might go through a town, so we have to minimize our footprint, like kind of reach that soft compromise, like what do we do? With civilians, we're not going to kill civilians. We're just going to avoid them. There's an unknown number of civilians in this area, but they're likely being controlled by the enemy squad. Okay, moving on to the company analysis of the enemy. We are facing an infantry company, a mounted infantry company at 90% strength. We have a suspected ADA and support by fire for infantry operations in this AO. This squad is screening USF recon in the AO, and they're going to provide early warning to this platoon and the mortar team. Down here, we have IDF capabilities. They're denying USF air support. They have 39 people. Their most common weapon system is the QBZ-95, which is equivalent to the US M4. Their most dangerous weapon system is the PL-66 152mm mortar, which is comparable to the M114 155mm mortar. Alright, from our company analysis, we face an enemy platoon at about 90% strength, 40 people. Down here, this squad will be controlling this village and react to anything that we'll be doing to this mortar team. They have CSK 141, so it's likely that they will be able to reach objective Phantom quickly. This recon squad is something that we have to try to avoid in order to move undetected to this mortar team. Their most common weapon system is the same as their company. It's the QBZ-95, comparable to the US M4. Their most dangerous weapon system is the CSK 141, which is comparable to the M167 Humvee with a 50 cal mounted on top. However, their mortars are extremely dangerous to our movements throughout this AO. This team is going to be disrupting our U.S. forces along Route Camaro, and they're going to limit friendly freedom of maneuver. They have the same key weapon systems as said before. Here's the macro overlaid on our GTAO. As you can see, they control along their avenues of approach. It's most likely that they will approach using Route Camaro. Here's their key terrain where the mortar team controls. As you can see, they're close to this bridge, allowing them that 40-minute reaction time as stated before, and then defense along Route Camaro, which will limit friendly freedom of maneuver mounted. This is who we will be engaging most directly. This is the enemy mortar team. This is a team plus, so they have one PP-87 82mm mortar, which is going to disrupt friendly freedom of maneuver with a max effective range of about 6,000 meters. Our equivalent is the M252 81mm mortar. They want to control key terrain too. it's very likely that this enemy squad that is controlling this village will react as soon as they find out that we have attacked their mortar squad. So we will need to move fast through this team. So as we come in, we're going to use the wood line where they won't be able to see and attack their mortars first. We're going to use our attached gun team with the javelin and the 240 to attack their mortars and take out their machine guns first in order to deny them from overrunning us. It's very likely that the enemy will be alerted to our presence and have the CSK-141, so if we can destroy their machine guns and their mortars before the CSK-141 arrives, then we can break contact with the enemy. The enemy is very disjointed because of the air assault mission going poorly. Each enemy squad does have a CSK-141 with like big machine gun on top, which is very dangerous to our movement on foot. With their ADA and IDF capabilities, we will not have support by fire. And then the enemy has control over key terrain 1 and 2, which allows them to have like dug-in defense, and they were just resupplied, which means they're not worried about sustainment. However, their weakness being scattered throughout the AO does create uncertainty and allows us, hopefully, to move undetected through this AO. So the purpose of this operation is going to be denying our freedom of maneuver and our offensive efforts to the AO. They're going to accomplish this by using their mortar team and their CSK-141s to defend Objective Phantom. They want to maintain this position as its key terrain and maintain their mortar squad. And they want to destroy U.S. forces. Most likely, they will just use this team, use their machine guns and mortars to deny our freedom of maneuver. But most dangerous is if that enemy recon squad sees us moving, they will alert both the mortar team, which will allow them that reaction time of 5 minutes to fire on us, and then most likely, this squad that's controlling this village will send their CSK-141 and maybe a light machine gun to defend this position because they cannot lose it. So if this happens, we're going to call up to hire. We're going to see what we should do, if we should continue our attack, because it will then be a team and a squad size element defending this objective, as we only have greater than 10 to 11 people. So this is just the enemy capabilities right now. Alright, so this is our friendly platoon concept sketch. As you can see, this is our team moving to destroy Objective Phantom and the enemy mortar team. The other squads are going to be moving to Objective Ghost to try to pull the enemy away from us, and then also deny enemy freedom of maneuver on Objective Reaper. So we're conducting these disjointed squad operations in depth within the AO to conceal the current capabilities of our company and our platoon. And then we're trying to buy time for the remainder of our company to reconsolidate because 2nd and 3rd platoon have limited capabilities of contact with us. We're disrupting enemy operations, deny their uncontested use of high-speed avenues of approach on Route Camaro. We're trying to minimize collateral damage of civilians, and we're disrupting these operations. We need to reconsolidate after we've destroyed all enemy forces on Objective Phantom at our patrol base to meet back with our company and other platoons. And then we're going to be here and wait for the orders.